What do you know about the great beasts? Hugo asked. Mostella Wetzel, government official turned prisoner, was oddly happy to answer. There are 8 of them, one for each country. Each has a key that operates it. Don't ask me how they work because that isn't my area of expertise. What I do know from months of poring over old government documents is that the keys were separated from the beasts after the Great War to keep them from being used again. A strategy that has worked wonderfully. We planned our war around the locations of the keys so we could assemble an unstoppable fleet to make the later stages of the war easier. That's why we took Valviento first, because we already had the key. Let's see. The eagle and the ape are still in Wood Willow, with their keys in our possession. The shark is off the coast of Morios, with the key given to the Navy for safekeeping. The tiger is in the Empire on Thunder Island. But Gilderoy, that arrogant imbecile, had the bright idea to bring the key with him when he came to Morios. You put it in that chest with him after you killed him. Strongarm was similarly foolish, using the key for the Beast of Braza as a weapon. We were able to recover his body and the axe after you killed him, but still, it could have easily fallen into enemy hands. And that would have been terrible. You guys have the Beast of Braza? As far as I know, not yet. Our soldiers are searching for it, but it remains hidden. We do have the Great Rhino, but we were unable to find the key when we conquered Wood Willow. That's because these lovely adventurers were kind enough to give it to yours truly, Cannonball said, entering the prison. Despite all of the thousands killed by your empire during the quest for the great beasts, you have nothing to show for it. The empire has won. You told me about Evelyn summoning her god, rising the great wolf out of the ravine. You still need the key. The wolf sank into the void after a collision with the beast of Pietra during the Great War. When it sank, it was being powered, meaning its key was in the cockpit. The Empire has one functioning weapon, which, if I know how Evelyn thinks, will be sent to destroy Morios as soon as it is powered. That leaves one weapon undiscussed, the Great Mole. My sources tell me it is currently being kept in a cave beneath the city of Lockton, the key of which is currently possessed by Duke Epsilon. The party stepped out and discussed their next move. Graven begrudgingly agreed to help his father lead a battalion of soldiers to Pietra to deliver the key. Cannonball called in the debt the party owed her. They returned to Wood Willow to give Cannonball the Great Ape. When they arrived, the battlefield surrounding the Great Beast was completely filled with thick mist similar to what poured out of the Great Ravine. The mist was filled with monsters, which the party had to fight through to reach the Great Ape. Sir Sylvester and his men weren't doing great. The collisions between the eagle and the ape must have created small tears in reality, rifts that mist and monsters can bleed in through. Is there a way to fix this? Hugo shrugged. Regardless, I would like to take my great beasts now. Vixen was hesitant to give her the staff. We had a deal. And you know what happens when people break my deals. It belongs to the people of Wood Willow, who are in no position to negotiate. I loathe the idea of giving such a powerful weapon to a devil. Oh, please, the beast is useless just sitting here. But, in service to your homeland, it can do great things. And you will power the beast with the souls of the damned? Of course. Your people will be fine for now. But, if we are unable to fight off the Empire, fine. You may take the beast, but I will have no part in what you do with it. Excellent. Now then, about the Great Eagle. That wasn't part of the deal. I know, but I want it. For use in the war effort. And I'm willing to give your soul back in exchange for the beast. No. Excuse me? I don't trust you. I won't give you the eagle, even if it means you take my soul. If I activate the Great Eagle, I can clear this mist. As long as it persists, Sylvester's men will continue to be picked off one by one. He said no. That said, how much would it cost to activate the eagle for 5 seconds? What do you have to offer? Your own soul? I'll give you my helmet and the copyright for the identity of the Underminer. Cannonball laughed. Sure, why not? Vixen handed over the helmet. Cannonball kept her hand open. Vixen sighed and handed the claws over too. Vixen, realizing his curse was broken, turned to Hugo. Hey Hugo, I hate you! I hate you too, buddy! In return, Cannonball gave Hugo a portion of soul energy, which he used to activate the eagle and clear out the mist. As he did so, a pit began to form in his stomach. Cannonball returned to Morios with the great ape. The party was going to follow her, but Sylvester told them that his men had received word that Caravander had been spotted in Braza and that he'd found a great beast. The party decided to head west to put lingering problems to rest. They found Caravander in a ruined village. It was surrounded by crashed Empire airships. He joined up with soldiers from Braza and was fighting the Empire the only way he knew how. "Hello, former friends. I heard you murdered an Emperor. Good. And you recruited a little man. You, new guy, what is your murder policy?" I'm willing to kill if I'm attacked first, and also sometimes by accident." "Good. Your companions are not as keen. That is why I left." "You left because you were a wanted fugitive." "Is that why you have left your important war duties? To kill me for doing what was needed?" "We're here to make sure the Great Beast is secure." "It is in a safe place. I do not have its key, although you have Great Beast keys, don't you? This is useful." "Why?" Caravander led them to a burned house where half a dozen Empire soldiers were tied up. "I was going to torture them for information, but if you are here, they can be put to use. Fuel for the Great Eagle." "No, I will not kill these men. Besides, it's kind of pointless now that we have the Devil Dame powering the Great Beasts." "I don't want to use damn souls either. I am okay with killing people if we must, but I don't want to use the Great Beasts again." "Excuse me?" "When a soul is burned away, nothing is left behind. The complete obliteration of a being, that's what it is. It's wrong." "Is it worse than hell?" "I think it is. Look, the Great Beasts are incredible, but they are powered by death and destruction. Maybe we can find a use for them after I advance my extraplanar studies, but as is, they're too monstrous to use. We must be better than the Empire." "Why do we have to be better?" "Because I don't want to be like my people. I will not annihilate someone's entire being. If we take the Empire's machines and kill them and treat them as nothing more than a resource to be weaponized, then nothing has changed. The wheel of hatred keeps rolling, and people keep dying." "When you remove rot, you do not ask it nicely to leave. You rip it out of the walls." "I know that there is good in the Empire. There are monsters like Gilderoy or Strongarm, but the average person, they're like I was. Foolish, lied to, but not monsters. Not someone who deserves to be degraded into nothing more than fuel." Caravander sighed. "The moralizing from the monk was already grating. I do not enjoy the fact that I must now endure it from you as well." He drew his sword and decapitated a prisoner. "What did I just say?" "You don't want them to be fuel. Fine. But in that case, I have no use for these men. Either I kill them now, or I leave them in the desert, and this option is more merciful." The party watched as Caravander killed the prisoners. He wiped the blood from his sword, gathered his things, and prepared to leave. "You may come with us, if you would like, and see the Great Beast. But no more whining about my actions." Caravander picked up a bag full of rocks and walked away. The party followed him across the desert to the base of a large mountain called Mount Slumber and climbed its slope. As they did, a terrible sandstorm swept over them, almost forcing them to go back. "Nirvana!" Caravander shouted. The sandstorm calmed, and they continued their climb. At the top of the mountain, the party found a bustling village. "What is this place?" "This is Nirvana," an old sage said as he approached the party. "The last refuge of Braza. The Empire has tried to take us, but they have found only deserted villages. Our people have done what they have always done. In times of great crisis, travel across the desert to the secret sanctuary." "Neat. I am Briss Brass, leader of the Brazans. Are you the trusted allies Caravander spoke of?" "He called us that." "Actually, the term he used was self-righteous, stupid cowards, but I figured I would be polite." Briss Brass led them through a cave deep within the mountain. The cave opened to a large pool of lava. Sitting in its center was the great crocodile. "The Great Beast is well secured. Our sandstorm keeps out anyone who does not know the password, and our knights will give their lives to stop the Empire. Your visit was not needed." Unfortunately for Brass, he was an NPC in the D&D campaign, which meant that he was destined to be proven wrong immediately by the once per session enemy encounter. The party was woken up in the middle of the night by the sounds of explosions. A fleet of Empire airships circled around the volcano, dropping down metal soldiers. The party fought against the Empire men, while Carvander ran into the cave to protect the Great Beast. Partway through the fight, Brass noticed one of the ships was going for the crater. He cast Fly on Pimmet, Hugo, and Vixen, which was good because Hugo's wings were decorative. The trio flew after the airship and Pimmet blew it up with a fireball. The boat exploded and most of the crew fell into the volcano. One soldier, a knight with wings made of bone, hovered in the air, surrounded by flames. They briefed me on you guys. You're Hugo, you're Vixen, and you're... hold on, give me a minute. Pimmet 4-Bottle, at your service. What's your name? You can call me Hell's Angel. Wait, no. Bone Ripper. Oh, Inferno Wing. Which of those sounds the best? How about Silence? Sure, that works. Vixen flew up and slammed his fists into Silence, punting him into the mountain. Silence flew up and slashed across Vixen's chest with the Axe of Flames. Hugo backed up over the volcano's mouth to get out of melee range and threw a fireball. Silence dodged out of the way. Pimmet cast Lightning Bolt and the spell zigzagged to strike Silence square in the heart. Silence retaliated by aiming his axe at Pimmet and unleashing a massive burst of fire. Pimmet was KO'd. Hugo tried chronal shifting Pimmet's roll and Pimmet burned through a lucky, but it wasn't enough. He failed and crashed down next to Brass. Brass healed him with Cure Wounds. Pimmet got back up and cast Cloud of Daggers. Silence flew through the knives, shrugging them off, and landed next to Pimmet. He swung his axe, but not at Pimmet. Look, sometimes you do things that are mean because the call to do them is tantalizing. And when your player positions their token above the mouth of a volcano, when the only thing keeping them flying is the concentration of an easily targeted NPC, sometimes you do the mean thing. Silence struck down the sage, killing him, causing the fly spell to drop. Hugo fell into the volcano. Carvander leaped out, holding onto a rope tied to a rock, and dived after Hugo. He barely grabbed onto him at the last moment. Vixen jumped in and hit Silence with a stunning strike. Silence shrugged it off and knocked him out with an elbow to the head. He slowly walked towards Pimmet. Pimmet pulled out his decanter of endless water and sprayed, but the Empire Angel made a nat 20 strength throw and burst through the water, knocking Pimmet out as well. He flew into the volcano, where Carvander and Hugo were waiting. God damn! The Empire rebuilt me to be the perfect killing machine, but still, I expected you guys to at least give me a little trouble. You're the guys who beat Strongarm and Aurum? Really? You will not take the Great Beast. See, I think I will. Carvander held his bag over the ledge. This contains the cores of 20 Empire airships, which I scavenged after killing their crews. Each of these accursed pieces of quartz contains a humanoid soul, a soul of one of my people. Your point being, a soul contains enough energy to move a massive beast made of stone. What happens when that energy gets released inside a volcano? It explodes, killing you and, more importantly, burying the great beast so deep it will never be found. You wouldn't. He's crazy, he'll do it! Silence stared at Carvander. Then he sighed. Alright, you win. I'll leave. See you around, killer. He flew away. As he did, Hugo pointed his finger at Silence and cast Mind Spike. The cyborg crashed down into the mountainside, clutching his head. I didn't hear no bell, he mumbled before passing out. Eat shit, bitch! You know he will be back. I know. Carvander kept holding the bag over the ledge. The beast needs to be buried. Even if we all must die, it must not fall into Empire hands. I agree. For the first time in my life, I find my convictions wavering. I know what must be done, but I struggle to find the courage to do so. Hugo, not realizing what Carvander was insinuating, said, "Take the opportunity whenever you can. The Empire will not wait, and neither should you." To be clear, Carvander was saying that he was about to drop the bag and kill the entire party, as well as the entire population of Braza. And Hugo told him to go for it. I asked him to make a persuasion roll. He rolled a nat 1. So let's see, that's a nat 1 to convince him to kill you, so you do a bad job of convincing him. So Carvander didn't drop the bag. He decided to wait a week to give the people of Braza time to evacuate Nirvana, then drop it. As the party was about to leave, Caravander stopped Vixen. I need you to make me a promise. Do not be weak. Do not be merciful or naive. You must do whatever it takes to end this war, no matter how horrid. Evil cannot be destroyed by cowardice. It can only be crushed by unyielding strength. Vixen stared him in the eye. No, I'll keep strong, which means I'll stand by my values. Caravander laughed. You're doomed, Vixen. But at least you are doomed because your will was unwavering. Oh, and if you see Aros again, tell him that I hate him. Horrors within Mount Slumber. That's what the Oracle had predicted. But the horror had been averted. The party set sail for Lockton, the capital of Pietra, prepared to break another prediction.